I was hoping for a quick fix, but everything was fully automated. There was no real resolution, no clear answers. It was all a loop that brought me back to where I started. Over the weekend, I was in my telecom store to clarify something that I thought was just gonna be a simple request. It was me downgrading from my postpaid plan. My contract had already ended, and obviously before you make any requests, you have to make sure that all outstanding balances are settled, which I did. And I was moving to a plan that was significantly lower than my existing plan. But given today's time, syempre, before going to the store, gas, mahal. Diba? And you have to prepare, you have to make an effort. So I wanted to do things more efficiently. I went to the online processes. I went to their app, I also went to their website, and it led me through several confirmations until I was flagged with a message. Counters on hold due to reaching your maximum spending limit. And my first thought was, it's weird. It didn't make sense. Kasi nga, I'm literally, downgrading. Because in the last 24 months, I had been paying a higher plan consistently. And now that I'm reducing my spend, it's when these kinds of restrictions show up. It was confusing and honestly a bit ironic. And for a moment, I even thought, ano kaya mangyayari if I ticked this higher plan? Will it proceed? Will the website act differently? Baka kasi hindi lang ako ina-allow to downgrade. You know how it is, right? But of course, I didn't go that route anymore kasi baka nga pumasok, diba? It wasn't working, so I had to try other online channels like the messenger support. I was hoping for a quick fix, but everything was fully automated. There was no real resolution, no clear answers. It was all a loop that brought me back to where I started. Parang sa telephone. Press 1 if you want to go here, press 2 if you want to do this, and if you want to hear the options again or go back, press 9. Diba? Ang hirap, ang labo. So that's what brought me to the actual store. Eventually, my issue was resolved, but not without time and back and forth and multiple touch points. And the funny thing was, while I was waiting, I overheard this guy who was sitting beside me complain about a completely different issue, but it had the same underlying frustration. He was trying to terminate his account, not because of non-payment, but because his provider was not providing a reliable signal, which is obviously a reliable service despite him paying consistently. And you know what's worse? He was told by the customer service he was on the phone with that his account had to be endorsed again and resolved in another day. Clearly frustrated, I heard him say, "Why do we need to do this when I am already here at the store talking to an actual customer service representative and simultaneously talking to you on the phone so the three of us can resolve this together?" And that really stuck with me because that moment captured something bigger, more than just one issue or one service provider. It highlighted a recurring issue for most consumers. It's how difficult customer service can be, especially when resolution seems to be out of reach, despite being physically present, speaking to someone, and actively just trying to fix the problem. And it made me think about something bigger. We always talk about progress. We always talk about systems getting better, about automation making things faster, smoother, more efficient. But you see, sometimes it feels like progress only seems to work when it benefits a bigger system and not the person using it. Because if the system really is improving, why does it feel like it's so difficult to resolve a simple issue? Why does it take multiple departments, multiple people, multiple staff and steps just to do something that should have been fixed in one interaction? And at some point, it stops feeling like a service. It feels more like a maze, a whole process that you just have to navigate. And that leads me to a bigger question. Are we really ready for automation if that removes the very thing that makes services work? Like things getting better, more efficient, accountability, flexibility, and more importantly, human resolution. Again, my name is Ralph and this is The Shortlist.